Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 11 of our Super Silver series. My name is Heather Burke, and I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I hope that you've been enjoying this series. I think it's been fantastic. I love the practical tips that everyone has given and just hacks, how to better balance your time, how to expand your network, how to be more productive with your activity. And I love how everything's kind of built on one another. Being one of the last days is kind of intimidating because we've had all these fabulous videos already, but I'm excited to join you. So I've been praying for about 2 weeks on what I would talk about because I'm not the best at just giving little practical tips. I'm just going to admit that. That's not really my strength. My strength is to go really, really deep and to get to some hard issues. And so every time I would think, I had this phrase that would come through my mind, and it was Lyin Slayer. And I was like, okay, lions, gotcha. But it was spelled Lyin, like an Oklahoma accent, Lyin Slayer. And I thought, that's what we need to do, because I know at this point you've heard all these wonderful ideas. You've heard all these practical suggestions. You've heard all of this activity. And this is the point where the lies start getting to you in your mind, and you start thinking of all the reasons why you can't do it, why you can't be super silver, why you can't go for this promotion. And for those of you that are already there, that maybe you're even past silver and past gold, but that are still participating in this series, just the lies that creep in over time and that you constantly have to fight down. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to try and help you to be a lion slayer in your life. Get rid of the lies that are telling you you can't so that you can believe you can. One of the biggest lies I faced when I started this business was that I did not believe I had what it took. I'm an introvert by nature. I am definitely a person that is more comfortable with the one-on-one. Groups make me nervous. Reaching out to people makes me nervous. Cold calling, you got it. Like all of that stuff, not my cup of tea. And I kept saying, I don't have what it takes. And maybe I wasn't saying it to others, but I was saying it to myself. And what you say to yourself matters. I know you hear people say that, but it truly, truly does. And I found that often when people start this business, what they do is they start focusing on who they are not rather than who they are. And it keeps them from everything. You see, I believe that God has gifted each of us with certain things, and our personality is not a mistake. The way He made me is not a mistake. And the fact that I'm an introvert did not catch Him by surprise. The fact that I'm an introvert in this business is not confusing Him. I believe that we each have strengths, and we have them for a reason. I love looking through my team, and I see so many personalities. I have the big, bold personalities, the Jill Renfros, the Nikki Hinkles, and then I have the Lauren Kubeckas. She's more like me. She's more quiet and reserved, but she has the kindest heart. I love seeing that and knowing that each of these people plays a purpose in my team. And so whether you're an extrovert, an introvert, you have what it takes. I want you to look at your personality as a strength. If you're an introvert, you likely connect really deeply with people, and often people trust you. That's a strength, and that's an important strength, So my biggest challenge, and I could talk on this for an hour, but I have several that I want to hit. So I'm having to be pretty quick because otherwise this video is going to be long and no one's going to watch it. So my biggest suggestion there is to stop focusing on the lie of who you aren't and focus on who you are, because who you are is intentional, and who you are is what will make you successful in this business. Another lie I see that people tend to believe is that others have it easier than them. I was at church on Sunday, and we had a guest pastor, and he was talking about overcoming mountains, just the challenges in life. And he said this line that just caught me, and I was like, wow. And that line was that it's easier to see someone else's challenges and mountains as more overcomable than our own. Okay, think about that. You see these huge things that other people have to deal with, but you think they are more equipped to overcome that challenge than you are. Okay, here's what I want to tell you. Everyone in this business has challenges to overcome. There's not anyone that's made it to gold, to ruby, to emerald, to diamond that has not had to overcome major challenges. The key is using those to become your strength. Because when you overcome the challenges, you get stronger and stronger. When I started Plexus, about 2 months into my journey, I had 3 kids, and we were in the beginning process of fostering. My husband was a coach. He was gone all the time. Baseball season had just begun, so he was really gone all the time. He also drove a bus, taught. He was never home. We got a call for a 1-day-old baby, and I had about 2 hours notice. She joined our family. 3 weeks into that, she was in the hospital for 10 days, and that is actually, oddly enough, when my business started to take off, because I was feeling good. I was feeling great, and I needed to tell people about it. And I couldn't use these obstacles and these time challenges as reasons that I wasn't going to succeed. Those challenges were what made me go, oh my goodness, despite all of this, I'm feeling incredible, and I need to share this with other people because they need what I have. 2 months later, we got another call, and her sister joined us. So I went from 3 kids to 5 kids in our busiest season. So I went from, I had a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old, to I had a 3-month-old, because she had become 3 months old, a 21-month-old, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old. My husband was gone all the time. He was busy all the time. I also worked another part-time job from home. But those challenges, they were why I needed to succeed. Those babies, they were why this business needed to work for me. Your challenges, they are why you need to succeed. They are what should be your fuel in this business. They are overcomable. My challenges were no more easy or overcomable than yours are. The challenge that another diamond might have, she doesn't have some magical fuel to get her through that. She has the same thing you do. You just need to believe that you can. Another one I find is that when you get all of these suggestions and you have all these action steps, is it's easy to become overwhelmed. My personality type is the type that shuts down if I get stressed out. I'm the type that I would be like, oh, I need to get this house clean because I'm having people over. I've got this, and this that have to be done by tonight. How about, and these were my pre-Plexus days, how about I go bake a cake? That sounds like a good plan instead of doing the things I need to do. You know, we talk about duplication in this business, and I think sometimes people get confused and think that duplication means that I have to do every single thing that you did in order to be successful. And that's not what it is. When we talk about duplication, we are trying to give you a roadmap, and we're trying to say, here's some things I did that helped me in my journey. But you need to remember that you could get 1,000 different tips. You could talk to all the diamonds and they would give you a different list of tips. There is no way on earth that you can accomplish everything. So what my suggestion is to take the nuggets and act on those, to find what works for you and act on that. And that's great. Then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Then you have some suggestions, you have some things that are tried and true, but you do not have to do all the things that are tried and true. It's not possible. I remember when I was a new mom, and I had this beautiful, beautiful baby that would scream all the time and wouldn't sleep. And I would read these parenting books, and they were full of great wisdom, but I would sit there and try and implement every single thing I read, and it wasn't possible. It was making me a stress case. And quite honestly, some of the things that I was reading were not working for my daughter. They weren't working at all. And although they swore that these things were great, they were not matching the personality style of my very real human baby. She had her own brain. I had my own personality style, and some of the things weren't meshing well. So what I need to do, and what I found after some time, was that when I was reading those parenting books, when I was reading those things, I found some nuggets. I found some things that worked really, really, really well for her, And I clung to those. And that's what I worked with. I worked with the nuggets and I discarded the rest, okay? So I'm not telling you just to throw away everything you're hearing, but I'm telling you that when we do these trainings, when we teach you on duplication, when we try and give you these time hacks, when we try and give you these action steps, we're trying to give you some nuggets. And so I want you to find the ones that work for you, to find the ones that can work for your personality style, to find the ones that can work for the schedule you have, and cling to those and do those really, really, really well. Do not feel like you have to do all the things because no one can. Do not feel like you have to be the leader that does everything because no one can do that, okay? I want you to find the things you can do, the nuggets, cling to those, and don't allow yourself to get paralyzed. Another thing I'm going to talk about, I had talked about, I don't have what it takes. And so sometimes I think when people hear that and they hear me saying, really go for your strengths, then they think, well, then I'm not going to do the things that are hard. Okay. So I'm not telling you that either. My favorite verse, and that one that I cling to, is it is in my weakness that he is made strong. And so I have found that I have had to do some things that are really, really hard for me. Videos, when I started, on no planet would I have ever sat out here and done this video. Those were steps outside of my comfort zone I had to take. And I trusted him to give me the words. I know that everyone doesn't share the same faith, okay? But regardless, when you are in this business, you're going to have to do some things that are scary, and you're going to have to do some things that are hard. It doesn't mean that you sit there and do those every single moment of every day, because I really do want you focusing on your strengths, but I am going to tell you it's imperative. It is, because if you refuse to do the hard things, if you refuse to do the scary things, if you refuse to step out of your comfort zone, then you're not going to achieve your goals. So what did that look like for me? Well, as I told you, I am an introvert. And so my daughters, they dance, okay? I'm a dance mom. And what I love to do when I would take them to dance, because they're older and they don't like me watching them, and their classes are honestly kind of long, is that I would like to sit in my car and wait for them. Because then I could be by myself, I could read a book, I could scroll on Facebook. Okay, how's that for expanding your network? It doesn't work so well, not at all. So one of the things that I had to do that was outside of my comfort zone is I had to walk my little hiney out of my car, and I had to go sit in dance. And I didn't sit in there and scroll on my phone. I had to set my phone in my purse, and I had to look and make eye contact with other moms, and I had to talk to them. And you know what? I've made some great friends by doing that, but it was uncomfortable and it was scary. And I did get some ambassadors that way. That was not my intention. My intention wasn't to go in there and I'm going to recruit everyone. My goal was to go in there and meet people and do the hard thing, because you do have to expand your network. I don't know what hard things look like for you. I don't know what stepping outside of your comfort zone looks like for you, but you do. And I have a feeling it's going through your head right now. So I'm going to tell you that even though I want you working in your strengths, I want you doing some things that make you uncomfortable also. I want you to challenge yourself. The last lie I'm going to finish up with, and then I'm going to give you just some steps that actually we learned at church this Sunday. How cool is God on that? But the last lie I'm going to talk about is the lie that it's never going to happen. Some of you have been in this business for a while. Some of you have been going after these goals for a while, and it feels like, oh, you start to go up and then it goes down, and then you go up and it goes down. And I want you to know that happens to me. I want you to know that I have not met an ambassador that has been in this business for any period of time that works their business consistently that has not had that happen. This business is a roller coaster, and it starts to go up and then it goes down, and starts to go up and it goes down a little bit. And it might go up a lot and then down a lot, or up. The only people I have found that stay down are the ones that say, I can't do it. I give up. I want you to know that while you're chugging for this super silver goal, while you're working really hard, and for some of you, you feel like you've been working for a really, really, really long time, I want you to know that if it doesn't happen this month, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. You take those challenges, you take those obstacles, you learn from them, and you grow from them. And if you stay consistent, and if you stay persistent, and you continue on, I really, truly believe that your business will grow. I really, really do. I haven't seen anyone that just has such an easy road. It might look that way at the beginning, but the obstacles are what give you the determination to keep going. It just is. If it was easy all the time, if it was smooth sailing all the time, the second you hit an obstacle, you'd quit. And I've watched people do that. The people that have strong teams, the people that have strong businesses are the ones that have met those head on and said, all right, I'm going to learn, I'm going to go. So to close up, some things, tips to give you to overcome the lies, to help retrain your brain, are these. One is learn to evaluate your thoughts. And I can't take credit for these. These came from our guest pastor this weekend, and it is what confirmed to me that I was supposed to talk about this. Learn to evaluate your thoughts. Filter them. What are you thinking? Dig deeper. Are you listening to lies? I mean, for those that are believers, lies are the language of the enemy. He tries to speak lies over us, and we listen to it, and it defeats us. So filter them. Start thinking, okay, what am I believing about myself? What am I believing about my business, and who is telling me this? Then you need to train your thinking. It really, it can feel cheesy sometimes. For me, I train my thinking with scripture. I recite scripture all the time in my head when I'm dealing with anxiety, when I'm dealing with different things. When I start to speak something over myself, I shoot it out and I speak scripture. For other people, it might be positive affirmations. It's so important to take every thought captive, because the second you let something take root in your mind, you really start to believe it and it grows. So that's huge. Take every thought captive. Train your thinking. You can train your thinking to make your thoughts successful and to guide you towards a more successful life, towards your purpose. And the last thing is to act in faith. Are you working like you believe you're going to succeed in this business, or are you working with a mindset of failure? You are not going to succeed if you're already believing that you failed. So those are my suggestions for y'all. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this series, and I thank you for letting me be a part of it, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic day.